From traditional architecture to avant-garde buildings, there are many beautiful and revolutionary architectural designs in Korea. Meet architecture graduate Jonathan Campbell from the UK. And from the US, Rachel Miller. The two go out to learn more about Korean architecture. What inventive sights await them? Let's find out now. Just an hour's drive from Seoul, there's a place that transports you to the prehistoric age. Jeongok, Gyeonggi Province, is where Korea's largest museum of prehistory is located. Jeongok Prehistory Museum features a curved design made up of thousands of stainless steel plates. The entire landscape is reflected on these plates.
We're here today at Jeongok Prehistory Museum, one of the largest museums of its kind, situated here in one of Korea's most important archaeological sites. The museum not only houses many prehistoric artifacts, but is also revolutionary in its unique design.
The stunning museum was based on the winning design of an international architecture contest in 2005.
The museum, bridging over two hill curves, creates an entrance and willing us to interact with the building itself. Its modern form, reflecting the landscape surrounding, changing as the day and the landscape changes, it becomes part of the scenery itself.
The spiral-shaped, reflective exterior blends in with the landscape under the sun. The museum was built on the Cheongongri prehistoric site, where East Asia's first Acheulean hand axe was excavated in 1978. The discovery stunned the archaeologists around the world. The spacious interior is a continuation of the modern exterior. With high ceilings and a terrace, the museum breaks down the boundary between indoors and outdoors. An exhibit of prehistoric man greets Jonathan at the entrance. Visitors can take a tour after making an RFID card that stores their personal information. This card is used at the morphing station, where visitors can morph their images into prehistoric men. It's a time travel passport that merges the visitor's face with the evolutionary path of humans.
The entry to most museums is very traditional, but things are very different here. The entry system, as well as the exhibits, are all interactive, and I'm looking forward to see what the museum has in store.
Various artifacts and fossils dating from the Stone Age are on display. They map out the history of nature and the stages of evolution. On the floor, there's a timeline that spans across approximately 7 million years.
The design of the building encourages us to follow through a timeline that runs through the whole museum. Here I am passing through -2 million years ago.
There are no walls dividing the section. This design allows visitors to walk around freely in the museum. In the center is a cave-like exhibit that displays 14 prehistoric wall paintings. They depict drawings done by prehistoric men from different parts of the world.
Part of the museum has been made to look like a real-life cave, which is a fantastic idea, as in prehistory times there were no structures, no buildings, and this is where man would have found his first place to live.
There are replicas of cave art from Altamira in Spain and Lascaux, France. Stuffed animals and prehistoric relics are found all around the museum. After the tour, Jonathan sits at a table in the terrace to record his thoughts. What kind of inspiration did he draw from the Jeongok Prehistory Museum?
This building really breaks down the traditional boundaries between building and person, as it breaks down the boundaries itself between landscape and building and person. It really helps to connect us from the modern era to the prehistoric era. And in this way, it's a very unique, non-traditional building and works very well.
A rolling landscape unfolds outside. The museum was designed to blend in with nature.
Korea's landscape is so unique, surrounded by these beautiful mountain regions. This building sits nestled amongst them as an almost perfect piece of the landscape. I think any architect would be happy to design a building as unique and fantastic as this.
The architectural design of Jeongok Prehistory Museum is beautiful in the way it finds a balance with nature. Inside, the lack of walls dividing exhibition halls and the cave theme recreate the prehistoric age. While the design is ultra-modern, Jeongok Prehistory Museum also finds a balance with its surrounding. It's an excellent example of Korean architecture. Incheon Free Economic Zone, many unique buildings come into view.
I had heard about Songdo before, but I could never imagine this place would have such fantastic architecture. The buildings here are huge and so outstanding.
A 21st century business-friendly city with ingenious, top-notch buildings.
But there must be other buildings than global and economic corporations in the free economic zone. I wonder what other buildings can I find? Oh, look! There it is!
Rachel visits Tri-Bowl, an architectural icon of Songdo. As a futuristic city landmark, Tri-Bowl is shaped like three gigantic bowls welded together.
The building's shape is formed by curves. This style makes it look like a huge ship floating on the ocean.
The world's first building to incorporate the upside-down shell method, the Tri-Bowl, as its name suggests, is 3 stories high with 1 basement level. It has 3 base columns sprouting upward, hence the prefix tri in its name.
What is this place?
Tri-Bowl goes against conventional concepts. It has a curved floor with upward sloping walls topped with a flat ceiling. The space within the building is uninterrupted. Every space from the ceiling to the walls can be utilized. There are segments of space that can be used for exhibits or resting areas for visitors.
While the outside of the building looks simple, the inside is actually much more complex. It's like an unpredictable maze with hidden space around every corner. Even I just came walking inside. It was so fun.
You can see the entire floor and the cleverly hidden spaces from above. While walking through the building, you will find yourself going up and down a gentle slope around the circular floor.
큰 뜻으로는 하늘, 땅, 바다를 상징합니다. 인천시의 도시가 항구 도시고 공항을 품고 있어서 3가지 의미를 담고 있고요. 또 다른 취지로는 이제 경제 자유구역 개발에 대한 세계 축, 청라, 송도, 영종 지역을 상징하고 있습니다.
Tri-Bowl has an event hall, multi-purpose hall, digital library, and other sections geared for arts, cultural performances, and exhibits.
Inside the bowl, they built a huge theater. They hope it could contain any kind of show. Musicals, concerts, and other cultural performances could be held here. Truly, it's like a huge bowl. It could hold anything.
The seating area for the audience is also circular, and the upper levels are elevated to offer a better view of the stage. The design accommodates seating for 400 people. The interior design is characterized by a free-flowing style. The floor follows an upward curve to meet the sloped wall. Performing arts and exhibits can fit in the space organically.
From the inside and outside, this building may look unusual and has an irregular pattern. But it's strange, once I came inside, I began to feel more comfortable. And I found out why. Just like the ins and outs of this building, it's a familiar feeling to me. That is our life and the world we live in.
Shaped like 3 bowls connected to each other, Tri-Bowl accommodates different needs through a unique artistic vision. It also meets its multi-purpose design for holding performances and exhibits. Enjoy arts and culture at Tribal, the landmark of Seongdo. Jeongno, a place where traditional buildings coexist with modern concrete buildings.
Cheongdakun Bucheon where traditional and modernist architecture coexist, we find one more unique thing here, a building, the most important building to Korean architectural history.
In 1971, the first section of the Space Group building was built in Wonseodong. The new wing was added in 1977.
I'm here today at the Gongkan Space Building, an important fixture in Korea's modernist architecture movement. As a student of architecture, this is an essential place for me to visit, but I urge anyone to come and visit and see this wonderful example of Korean modern architecture.
The Space Group building is a quintessential Korean modern architecture. It was used as an atelier for the architect Kim Sugeun. The interior is a sharp contrast to the brick-laid exterior. A huge window provides great view and plenty of sunshine.
Designed by Kim Sugeun, the father of modernist architecture, he was known as the Lorenzo de Medici of Seoul, and this building is a perfect example of his work.
The numerous lots of space serve different purposes. Hence, first-time visitors might feel as if they've stepped inside a maze. What's more, the creative floor plan divides the 10 ground floors unconventionally.
As we move through the structure, we enter areas such as this, where 2 different levels are created in the same space. This was done using the concept of skip floors, which breaks down the stories of a building, a revolutionary concept at the time, and one that is still unique to this day.
An inventive use of space, the Space Group building sparks creativity in those who use this transforming dynamic space. Moreover, all these sections are connected organically by the stairways.
You might notice the width of the stair grows narrower as we move up the building. This reflects the use of the lower, more populated areas with the less used upper floors.
Having top stairs narrower than the lower ones is an example of human-scale design. The areas used frequently by many people are given more space. The upper stairs, which are used less frequently, are narrow.
The concept of human scale is evident throughout the building. It may sound complicated, but it's very simple. Things like the height of a ceiling, the width of a working space, these all directly are influenced by the user of the building itself.
No space is wasted at the end of the hall or stairways. Small slots of space and even the walls are used for storage or displays. What kind of person was Kim Sugeun, the mastermind of the Space Group building?
Professor Kim has a philosophy that architectural space must be very cozy and warm. So he preferred the word mother's womb because for the human being, the mother's womb was the first space, also very cozy and comfortable space.
Kim Sugeun emphasized interaction between humans and architecture. He bravely opened new horizons in Korea's modern architectural scene. His works include the Gyeongdong Presbyterian Church, Olympic Main Stadium, and Arco Art Center.
My pleasure to introduce to you Professor Kim Sugeun. This is the place he works. We reserved this space after he deceased, and he introduced modern architecture to this country, and he mixed Korean traditional architecture to modern.
An extraordinary architect, Kim Sugeun designed structures that embody his passion, ambition, and empathy for others.
It was 1971. At the time, brick is the cheapest. So we choose this brick as our main structure. If you look around many our Space Group works, you can find many bricks in our design.
These bricks add warmth to the building.
The concept of human scale is shown again in the use of bricks for the main building structure. something you can hold in one hand. I can truly feel the humanity.
Perhaps this brick which fits in one hand is the most humane building material. Thousands of these make up the main columns, which together support one big space for human activity. There's a glass corridor connecting the old and new wing. In contrast to the old building, the new building is a transparent glass and steel structure designed by Kim Sugeun's protégés and purposefully built not to overshadow the original. The old building, new building, and the Hana create a fine balance.
A second building was added to house the growing company. This glass tower was designed by Kim Sugeun's own pupil, and the translucent structure really shows the architectural respect he had for his master.
To build the glass structure, Kim's protégé made a clean departure from their mentor's design method, and in that way, they paid homage to the great architect.
The late Kim Sugeun truly deserves his place in architectural Korean history, and this is his greatest example. Not only its mix of traditional architecture with modernist ideals, but its diversity of spaces and functions display the work of a great architect with great taste and skill. Whether you know about architecture or not, don't be afraid to visit because it will inspire you anyway.
The Space Group building is a creative interpretation of space. Both simple and complex, it conveys the witty beauty of architecture. Kim Sugeun's Space Group building opened new horizons in Korea's modern architectural scene. The Hongik University area, commonly known as Hongdae, is the hangout place for the young people. The streets have a character that is only found here, and the buildings play an integral role in creating this special vibe. The convergence of open-minded developers and daring architects have spawned many of these buildings. Streets full of beautiful and ingenious buildings. Rachel is seeking a one-of-a-kind jewel here. This is a newly built yellow diamond. It takes after the shape of a radiating diamond, and the yellow-tinted transparent glass facade makes it look like a giant jewel. A shopping mall inside a diamond-shaped building. It's a large fashion mall offering various brands that are popular among the young people. Through the transparent glass, you can feel the youthful energy of Hongdae.
This building is made of glass because the designers want to show off what's inside. I think it's a paradigm for young people these days who also want to show off what's on their mind. This building fits in well with the attitude of this area.
The original name of the building was Yellow Stone, but it was later renamed to Yellow Diamond in hopes that every product and customer would shine like a polished gem.
투명하다 보면은 주변의 어떤 그 많은 그 도시의 팩터들과 저절로 섞이는 그런 상황들이 연출되지 않습니까? 그런 것처럼 그 다양한 그 사람들과 다양한 도시들과 그 다양한 방식으로 소통하는 그런 건축을 만드는 거가 되겠습니다.
The retail space hidden in the museum-like glass building astonishes first-time visitors.
I really didn't know what it was. Like I wanted to figure out. Actually, I first figured out now that it was a shopping mall because you told me. Otherwise, I thought that it was an art gallery with paintings and stuff like sculptures. Yeah, I guess that was it.
But it's more than just a shopping mall. There's also space for art and performances. This is the Nanta Theater. It attracts both young and old and families. As a multi-purpose building, Yellow Diamond not only catches the eye with its avant-garde appearance, but also offers much to see inside.
When I saw the picture of this building, I thought it was an art museum. And while there is some performing space here, most of it's a fashion mall. If you were to go walking, it would be hard to find. But once you do discover it, you'll realize what a hidden gem it is.
You can shop or watch a performance in the gleaming Yellow Diamond. It absorbs the energy of Hongik University area and shines brighter like a brilliant jewel. Its beauty really stands out at night, so look around for this hidden jewel in Hongdae. A historic hanok that once stood in the heart of Seoul. It is steeped in tradition with a royal heritage, but it lay abandoned for many years. In 2008, a group of experts began to carefully dismantle the hanok. Great pains were taken to ensure that nothing was damaged in the process. The entire hanok was transported to Yeoncheon, Gyeonggi Province, where it was painstakingly rebuilt piece by piece. It was worth every dedication and effort. This is the royal residence.
This is a great example of traditional Korean architecture that would have housed the royal family. In the middle of Seoul, I can visit the Imperial Palace and observe the building, but here I can really research and really see how they lived. So let's take a look around.
Many people visit the royal residence to experience the royal life. Today, foreign students are here to experience the life through a workshop.
About this, everyone. We're gonna watch about the video we made for the past 2-3 days. Yeah.
I'd only seen this in dramas, and I didn't think I'd actually get to stay in a place like this. So it felt like I was actually a student back in history.
Conflicts Consortium 2013. Welcome to Korea.
The royal family actually lived here. To preserve this precious heritage and its beauty, it was restored through years of hard work. When you enter the royal residence, tucked away in a serene environment, you will see ancient trees first.
In modern architecture, we often decide on the shape of the landscape and where to plant trees, but these ancient architects looked to the land, the position of trees, rocks, the shape of the ground, to help them to position buildings in harmony with nature. Not only have they left us these wonderful buildings, but they have also gifted us with the legacy of these century-old trees here in this stunning landscape.
Upon completion of the restoration work, every tree was planted exactly where it has been in the original layout. This is an example of traditional Korean architecture. Even an old tree in the courtyard is a key part of the architecture. This structure is Yeongju, the original name of the dwelling. This hanok was built for the royal family in the 1800s. It was occupied by the grandson of King Gojong.
조선 왕가는 명륜동 당시에 있을 때에도 대지가 한 2,500평 정도 되고 이 건축 면적이 한옥으로서 250평 정도 됐습니다. 이렇게 큰 건물은 궁을 빼고는 우리나라에 거의 없다고 봐야 됩니다. 근데 하물며 서울시에 대지가 2,500평의 집이 있었다는 건 아마 믿기지 않는 규모로 봐야 됩니다.
In its new location, the house overlooks the beautiful Hantan River. The scenery is also an architectural component. Pass through the large courtyard to reach Chaeunjeong. It's the annex of Yeongju and offers the most magnificent view among royal residences.
You can tell by the size and the beauty that this building would have been used by the royal family. Have they kept the inside as it would be in ancient times? I'm going in to find out.
The traditional hanok design continues inside. The 500-year-old wood beams that support the structure maintain the pattern and scent of trees. Red clay walls covered with traditional paper make the house breathable and healthy to live in. The door and window frames are also covered with traditional paper. This is a traditional hanok room designed to accommodate the Korean custom of sitting on the floor. Jonathan sits on one of the mats laid out for the guest.
These mats and cushions tell us that traditionally Koreans would spend a lot of time sitting on the floor. This lifestyle led to undu, a system where the stone floor would be heated from below.
A traditional hanok uses a Korean floor heating system called ondol. A furnace outside is lit to heat the floor inside. Smoke is channeled through a chimney. It's an ingenious and traditional heating method. A traditional room heated through the ondol system. The warmth reaches his fingertips. Hanok is not excessive. It's a healing abode. The same goes for the royal residence. Next, Jonathan visits the residence restaurant, which serves authentic Korean cuisine. In Korea, healthy food is considered to be the best kind of medicine, so the royal family was served healthy meals at a pleasant place. The food, of course, was full of ingredients that had healing and medicinal properties.
You may not think that food has anything to do with buildings, but Koreans see food and house as parts of the basic foundations of life. And I feel this has really given me an extra experience in this traditional Korean architecture.
Eating good food at a pleasant place. That's probably the best healing experience that your home can give. Another building within the royal residence, a dreamlike place that instantly brings you into a meditative state through soothing music and aromatic scents. It's the Hungik therapy room that was once reserved for kings and queens.
What is that scent? Can't be what I'm thinking.
These scented packets contain medicinal herbs.
Tell me please, what happens in here?
네, 이곳은 천연 생약을 끓여서 전신 훈육하는 곳으로서 예전에는 왕이나 왕후 또 비빈들이 주로 사용했던 비방을 쓰는 곳입니다.
A jar with water is filled with medicinal herbs and heated. Jonathan changes into a robe to receive the Hungik therapy treatment.
이쪽으로 오세요.
Now, let's watch him enjoy the Hungik session. Once reserved for royalty, this ancient therapy boosts blood circulation, cleanses skin pores in the lower abdomen, and removes oily substances. Night falls. Surrounded by nature, the beauty of Hanok is best represented by the royal residence.
The royal residences were built many years ago for noble people and still stand today. Although its function may have changed and the type of people who live here have also changed, its greatness is still clear, and that is the beauty of this architecture.
Don't miss the opportunity to visit the beautiful traditional Hanok. You'll open your eyes to a whole new world. Bouton Hanok village in Jeongno. In the past, it was a neighborhood for the elite. Today, only about 900 Hanok houses remain. Nevertheless, many people come here to experience the traditional ambiance in high-tech Seoul.
Everyone knows that Seoul is the center of modern living and cutting-edge technology, but here in Bouton, things have been kept a lot more traditional with their traditional buildings. But not everyone knows that preservation of tradition doesn't mean that things can't change.
Jonathan passes by the Hanok houses to the top of the hill. The path is quite long, but you will not be bored when there's so much to see. There's a carefree atmosphere in this old neighborhood.
This is the perfect example of a traditional Korean building giving a new modern function. It's Miam Gallery, and as you can see, it's a traditional Korean building, but inside things are very different.
Gallery Miam. It's unusual for a gallery to be located in Hanok, where the tile roof and the daechongmaru floor creates a picture-perfect scenery. The exterior is strictly a Hanok design, but inside, there are many experimental works of art on display.
Traditional Korean architecture is always made from wood, and wood is not a permanent material, it changes over time. And I wonder if the person that made this building, would they know it would have still been here in this day and would have looked as beautiful as it does today?
The floors, window frames, supporting beams and columns are all made of wood. Hanok differs from Western architecture right from its key building material. It's gracefully spacious inside. A room with a tea table set on the floor looks like an oriental painting. The serene and relaxing scene makes guests want to stay longer.
The Daechung Maro is the central living space connecting the two wings of the residence, and not only forms a bridge between the indoor and outdoor areas, but also creates a place for the inhabitants of the residence to come together to meet.
Daechung Maru is a doorless, wooden-floored hall that connects one room to another. In the beginning, Gallery Miam was not a pleasant sight. Extensive renovation work took place, and 7 layers of traditional paper were applied to the walls to keep noise out. A traditional hanok permeated with a delicate scent of wood. This is Gallery Miam, a place for exhibiting modern art.
한옥의 틀이 좋은 이야기가 되지 않을까 싶어서요. 어떤 기회를 통해서 이런 큰 한옥의 틀에서 좋은 디자인 요소를 갖춰갈 수 있는 그런 베이스가 되지 않을까라는 생각에서 이 미음 갤러리 한옥에서 이 어떤 큰 디자인 이야기를 시작하게 됐습니다.
There are traditional crafts on display around the gallery. They blend in with the ancient wooden beams.
This explain this room is exhibition is and Korean traditional wood.
There's a meaning to each of the hanok-related items on display.
The some first explain its mean is happiness and rich.
It may not look comfortable, but it looks very beautiful.
Oh yeah. There's some
Pillows that draw in happiness and wealth. A drawer commonly seen in hanok rooms. Patterns carefully etched into the decorations. These antiques, each with an old story to tell, rest comfortably inside the hanok. Sitting atop Bouton, Gallery Miam offers a wonderful view of Seoul. The expansive view is an emblem of a hanok that is designed to be open and inclusive.
Here at the Miam Gallery, we can experience traditional Korean architecture in every part of the building, whilst enjoying its modern new function, displaying artworks and furniture. It's the perfect example of preserving a traditional Korean building, whilst giving it a new lease of life and a new function. I feel that anyone that would come here would be inspired and find their own influences, just like I did.
A traditional hanok that is in harmony with the modern times. Watching over Bouton day and night, Gallery Miam preserves traditional and modern beauty.
River is the widest and longest path through Seoul. Citizens of Seoul come here to spend their free time with families and lovers and friends. I came here today to visit a unique place. This place has a special site and an interesting history.
The Han River cuts across Korea's capital, Seoul. Floating on the river is Seonyu Island. To reach the next destination, you have to first cross the 700-meter-long Rainbow Bridge. It is a pedestrian-only wooden bridge that connects the riverside to the island. This beautiful park was once an abandoned water treatment facility. The rundown facility had to be shut, and city officials later took the initiative to build an ecological park in the location. This is how Seonyudo Park came to be. Entering the park, Rachel first steps into the Garden of Transition. To expose the inner workings of the facility, concrete walls were torn down and an ecological park was built. The facility's old structure is more evident here than in other parts of the park. Various types of environments were created to let people observe different aspects of nature. But they are not here just for the scenic view. It's the educational element of the park that attracts visitors. Pillars of the abandoned facility remain standing. Although with a different purpose now, covered in vines, they create a unique atmosphere.
You wouldn't know it unless someone told you, but this used to be the holding cell for the water. They left the existing pillars, and the pillars became statues wearing vines. So that's why they call it the Garden of Green Pillars.
At the museum, visitors can view the past and present of Seonyudo Park. They can take a tour of the large museum at their own pace.
They've kept some of the original pieces from the water treatment facility so we can learn about the history while enjoying the beautiful nature and the scenery around us.
From a stone quarry to a water treatment plant and then an ecological park in 2002, the old equipment still remains in place, standing as a reminder of its past.
모든 것들을 다 철거를 해서 폐기를 하게 되면 그것도 굉장한 환경에 오염을 주는 부분들이어서 최대한 기존의 구조물들을 남겨놓음으로써 그것들을 재활용해서 공원 속에 담으려고 한 것이죠.
As you walk around the park, you can see that they've tried to keep the original while adding a little bit of nature without destroying anything. But when you come in here, you can see that they're trying to do far more than protecting nature.
The former reservoir was turned into a garden and a greenhouse. Plants grow all year round, so many students come here on their biology field trips. Transforming an abandoned water treatment facility into a green park is a rediscovery of architecture. Worn-down places that are no longer useful can carry life again through the alchemy of architecture.
This place is interesting because they've taken something old and changed it into something new and made it more beautiful. They recycled the foundations and the history and the stories, and they taught us the true meaning of nature, that recycling can be more.
The endless possibilities of recycling. Not only was waste recycled, but even the history of Seonyu Island was rewritten. Seonyudo Park is an ecological structure of the Han River that restored environment and history. A toy-like structure that seems out of this world. It looks like a structure made of giant Lego blocks or container boxes precariously stacked on top of each other. But what if such a building actually exists?
It looks like concrete Legos stacked on top of each other. I wonder, what does it look like inside? Shall we find out?
The Polarian Square building is in Hwaseong, Gyeonggi Province. Resembling a robot from the movie Transformer, the 8-story Polarian Square consists of two structures that look like stacked boxes.
This building reminds me of the works by the famous architect Endo Tadao. Similar to his design, the Church of Light, both buildings use this method of exposed concrete. But I believe this building has something more.
The famous Japanese architect Tadao Ando used exposed concrete prominently to create a clean, minimalistic look. Built through the exposed concrete building method, Polarian Square is an experiment that is unconventional in every way.
많은 분들이 우리의 노출된 콘크리트 면을 보고 안도 타다오의 건축물을 생각하시는데 우리의 건축물은 안도 타다오의 건축물과는 다른 특징을 가지고 있습니다. 그것은 바로 동심의 세계를 담아내고 있다는 것이죠.
Bringing people in touch with their inner child. Polarian is reminiscent of Ando Tadao's buildings, but it offers much more. Despite the concrete structure, Polarian gives off a warm feeling. This is because the design brings out the advantages of concrete. The top floor, in particular, radiates warmth.
While the inside and outside are both been constructed by exposed concrete, the interior is quite unique in that it uses wood for the stairs and the ceiling to make a beautiful design.
The design is stripped of simplicity and exudes fun and innovation. As Polarian Square gained fame, nearby residents also became attached to this unique building.
볼 재미가 있는 건물, 그런 건물들을 자꾸자꾸 보다 보니 친숙해지고 주변의 아이들도 너무나 정겹게 그런 건물들을 통해서 본인들이 가지고 노는 블럭이라던가 여러 가지 모형 같은 거를 상상을 하면서 아, 저 건물 되게 이쁘구나, 안에 들어가서 놀았으면 좋겠구나 하는 생각을 가지게 되더라고요.
The building is known for its various expressive designs. Due to the characteristics of concrete, it looks different under different weather and different lightings.
The design of this building was meant to be playful and fun, so when people look at it, they're reminded of their childhood memories and playing with blocks. Also, they designed it in two separate buildings so that the surrounding neighbors don't see just one solid building, they see the unique design and space of the building. It teaches us that a building is not just empty space, it can be more than just a building.
A fearless design and a drive to create something new, Aryan Square is a structure with various facades. With its warm, exposed concrete exterior and a whimsical design that evokes childhood, the building elicits a smile on everyone who sees it. It also stirs their imagination. Check out the multiple charms of Aryan Square. Beautiful Korean buildings that blend in with nature, together with bold and unconventional designs. These acclaimed buildings bring out the beauty of traditional architectural styles. How about visiting some of these buildings in Korea that Jonathan and Rachel have toured? That was a Korean architectural design trip.